Hi everyone, Miss Tui here. It is so important to recognize the contributions of Black engineers and scientists. They have discovered and created some amazing things. For today's lesson, you will need an Ozobot, fully charged and calibrated, color code markers, a pencil, a color code chart, all 3 pages of your prominent Black engineers and scientists activity sheets, and a device for research. In today's lesson, you will research an influential Black scientist or engineer and create a biographical timeline of their life. You'll record the sources of your information and determine if those sources are credible. Many Black scientists and engineers have contributed to improving our lives, but we don't often hear about them. For example, did you know Garrett Morgan, a Black businessman and inventor, was one of the first to patent the traffic light? Modern home security systems were first created by Marie Van Brittan Brown. And next time you get out your super soaker for a water fight, remember Lonnie G. Johnson, the aerospace engineer who invented it. First, you'll choose a person to research. If you don't already have somebody in mind, here's a list of people for you to choose from. Take 1 minute and make a choice. Write the name of the influential person on page 1 of your activity sheets. If you'd like to print a picture or draw a picture of the person, add that to page 1 also. When researching, it is always important to document your sources of information and ensure that the sources are reliable and accurate. There are some things to look for that will help you determine if a source is reliable. First, is an author listed? How much information is given about the author? If there's no author listed, you may want to look for another source. Look for other clues, such as the date the article was published or the copyright date of the website. If there are no dates available, there is no way to know how current the information is, which is another reason to look for another source. Look at the website's name and URL. While a catchy name is great, it may not be the most accurate or reliable source of information. Finally, look for spelling and grammar mistakes in the text. Those mistakes may give a clue about the quality and validity of the information in the article. Beware of the information found on websites containing multiple mistakes. While researching, write down names, dates, and publishers of the websites, books, and other materials where you find your information in the sources section of the activity sheets. Keep in mind that your teacher may have specific format for you to use when recording the information. Begin your research and write down a few details of your chosen engineer or scientist's life under Life Details. Then continue your research to answer the following questions. What are they best known for? What are some of the challenges they faced? What other questions do you have about this person's life? How has their contribution impacted life today? Remember to keep track of the websites or printed materials you use to gather your information. After you are done researching, choose 5 important events that you feel shaped the person's life and character. In the previous step, you chose 5 important events that shape the person you are learning about. Put those events in chronological order by numbering them on your activity sheets before writing them on the timeline on page 3. Write the events in order on your timeline on page 3 of the activity sheets. Also, write the name of the person you are studying and the date of birth. Now that you've got events in the timeline, you'll add a color code to correspond with each event. First, you'll add the win/exit code at the end of the timeline. The code is green-blue. Then for each event, choose a code from the color codes key. You may find that one of the codes fits the feeling of the event. Also, there are 2 places where a code with 4 colors can be used. All other spaces will use a code with 3 colors. Can you fill in the win/exit code at the end of the timeline and the other 5 color codes using the color code key? Turn your bot on and place it on start. As your bot travels through the timeline, read the events that you wrote down. Turn your bot on and place it on start. As your bot travels through the timeline, read the events that you wrote down. Well done. Let's be sure your work is complete. Did you write the person's name on page 1 of the activity sheets and also on the timeline? Did you include life details and what the person is best known for? Did you include some challenges the person faced and how they overcame the challenges? Did you note your sources of information and analyze them for accuracy and honesty? Did you complete the timeline with events and color codes? If you're looking for more to do, you can expand your timeline to 2, 3, or 4 pages and include more details. Create a written report using the information you found, share your timeline with others, collaborate with your classmates and make a big timeline with all the people studied, or write a journal entry about how you have been inspired by learning about this person. Come back again soon for our next lesson.